Marking the culmination of Annamalai's Enman en Makkal Padayatra, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed a mega gathering at Palladam in Tamil Nadu's Tirupur district. The venue of the meet was teeming with party workers who chanted Bharat Mata Ki Jai and Menu Modi, Menu Modi. This basically translates to "We want Modi, once again Modi." But the sight that really caught my eye was the sight of PM Modi patting Annamalai on the back. Let me just quickly play this visual out for the viewers before we set the rest of the narrative on what really transpired today. Now, what's significant here is this pat on the back. The way I see it, it's a message from PM Modi congratulating Annamalai on a job well done during the course of his 105-day Padayatra, and which spanned all 234 assembly constituencies, which concluded today. Now, it seems that Modi has understood that charisma alone is not enough to capture the hearts of the Tamils. He went beyond the pro-Tamil rhetoric today. So there are some significant points that he made during his speech today. The most important one that I found to be was he invoking MGR and Jayalalitha, the Dravidian and AIDMK legend. So let's just quickly play out that bite before we continue here.
आज जब मैं तमिलनाडु आया हूं तो आदरणीय एमजीआर जी को भी याद कर रहा हूं। एमजीआर ने परिवारवाद की परंपरा से हटकर सुशासन की महान परंपरा को स्थापित किया था। उन्होंने क्वालिटी एजुकेशन और हेल्थ केयर के लिए काम किया और यही कारण था कि समाज के नौजवान और महिलाएं उनका इतना सम्मान करते हैं। यही कारण है कि आज भी समाज के गरीब तबके के लोग उन्हें अपना सबसे बड़ा नेता कहते हैं।
Now he also remembered Jayalalitha. She said that she was someone who dedicated her life for public service, and he paid his tributes, and he also recalled his good fortune in saying that I have been able to work with Jayalalitha for a long time. So before we get into a panel discussion, let me just remind our viewers of three major points that Modi spoke about. He said that people of Tamil Nadu are now trusting of the BJP. He said that the drama of the DMK has been exposed, and he also spoke about devolution of funds and the north-south divide. And he also praised Tamil language while also invoking the spiritual Sengol in the newly inaugurated parliament. And also he spoke about DMK's allegations that the center is being unjust in its allocation of funds. So to discuss more about this, I'm joined in by Akshita Nandagopal, who is the deputy editor and anchor at India Today. And also we are joined in by Pramod Madhav, who is a senior correspondent for India Today from Tamil Nadu. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks, Goutam, for having us.
Yeah. So first off, let me just quickly jump to Pramod here, who was at the venue. What was the atmosphere like? What did you notice there? And do you feel the messaging by PM Modi was well received? And what does it mean for BJP in Tamil Nadu?
Gautam, I would say that the atmosphere was quite charged because the people I saw there should be like we've been given the number that the ground actually held nearly 5 lakh people, and it was quite visible over there. And around 1 p.m. onwards, people started to gather. But interesting factor is that when the Prime Minister's chopper came out, the people were really excited to see him. And two things we like now I would like to say is that like it looked like the Prime Minister had like two specific lieutenants in Tamil Nadu alone. One being L. Murugan, who is now the Minister of State for INB, and the other one was Annamalai. In fact, after getting off the chopper, he actually took a vehicle that you saw. You can also see it in that screen. And on either side of the Prime Minister was Annamalai and L. Murugan. So it definitely was a kind of like a very good show for the Prime Minister there.
All right. Now let's switch focus to some elements that the Prime Minister Modi spoke about. So Akshita, what do you make of him invoking MGR and Jayalalitha there? Because we know that the ADMK and BJP split up happened because of statements made against these a Dravidian legend like Nadu, right? But now PM Modi invoking MGR and Jayalalitha, are we looking at basically him not ruling out an alliance with ADMK, or is it more to do with the politics of the Congo Belt region?
I would say the latter more than the former, Gautam, but must admit that I was very, very surprised when the Prime Minister referred to Jayalalitha as well as MGR in that manner, because he heaped praise essentially on both of them and also used them to kind of attack the DMK. Didn't use them to attack the AIADMK. So across the speech, if you see what the kind of comments, the political attacks that he's made, at no point has he actually attacked the AIADMK. He's reserved all of his criticism largely for the DMK. And then, of course, you'll have a wider spectrum of Dravidian parties that he refers to. But this particular comment obviously sparked speculation on whether the BJP High Command, whether the Prime Minister is still keeping doors open for an AIA-DMK alliance. I think that ship is largely sailed. I don't think the BJP High Command is counting on any sort of alliance at this point. It's far too late, honestly, for that, because you've also had smaller parties that are now joining with the BJP for an alliance for the upcoming elections. I think largely you're right in pointing out that it has to do more with politics in West Tamil Nadu. There's been a lot of talk that the BJP largely is looking to make inroads by projecting themselves as an alternative to DMK and AIA-DMK. And the first step in doing that is to go ahead and carve out of the AIA-DMK vote bank. So by making these comments, of MGR, of Jayalalitha, I sense that he's kind of staking claim to the legacy, kind of confusing AIADMK voters, saying, look, we also appreciate the contributions of your supreme leaders, and we kind of, are embracing that legacy. So I think it's more of that rather than, him keeping the doors open for an AIADMK alliance. The High Command was for an alliance. Let's not, have any doubts about that. They're very much for an alliance, but having said that, it's too late now, honestly, for any sort of damage control or for any attempts to have a conversation with them. Maybe it's an outreach to Sashikala, to TTV Dinakaran, to O Paneerselvam. But EPS, AIADMK, that ship has sailed.
All right. Pramod, what is your reading of what Modi spoke about MGR and Jayalalitha?
Well, I would say one thing for sure, because like yesterday there was a development where Tamil Nadu Congress leader GK Vasan, he joined hands with BJP, and in fact he also shared the stage today. And it is quite a kind of like a blow for AIDMK, because TMC was with them, and in fact, if as far as I remember, GK Vasan is a Rajya Sabha MP currently from AIDMK support only. So that did not go well with EPS, if I could not trust my sources. And the only other big party that is still yet to decide on alliance is PMK, Patali Makal Kachi, who also have a considerable amount of vote share. So it looks like the way the the Prime Minister came today and spoke, just like Akshita mentioned, it definitely looks like he's going ahead and appreciating MGR and Jayalalitha, and not just saying that he just appreciates MGR. He said he went to Sri Lanka, visited Kandy, which is the birthplace of MGR, and then he remember the instances where MGR, how he fought against DMK and such things. Bigger pie of ADMK's legacy, the way the Prime Minister, the way he speaks, definitely he can go ahead and attract it. But there's only one small problem, and that is Annamalai. Because if I remember last year, after the Erode by-elections, he said that the Dravidian parties are involving cash for vote politics.
Okay.
So I kind of asked him 3-4 times again and again, does that mean AIDMK as well? And he said, like, I would not give the names, but the Dravidian parties. And that is where it all started. And then later, forget MGR and Jayalalitha. The bigger aspect is Annadurai is the name in AIDMK. So he went ahead something against Annadurai. AIDMK can invoke it for out. So that's a reason.
Yeah.
It looks like, and Annamalai is also the founder of DMK. So those things also we need to, when it comes to Tamil Nadu, these things play a very important role. So that's what I want to just be skeptical, because though the Prime Minister...
add to what Pramod is saying, is that Annamalai was also critical of Jayalalitha. Said it's a fact that she was corrupt. Yeah. Nobody can deny that. And now you have the Prime Minister saying that, Jayalalitha is an icon. I've had the honor of meeting with her. So it's interesting to see that shift, because I don't think the High Command was very for the kind of comments that Annamalai said. I don't think they were okay with him criticizing Jayalalitha in that manner. He attempted damage control also, if I'm not wrong, right after.
No, that's kind of what the message is. Basically, they back Annamalai to an extent.
If you need the votes of AIDMK, you have to. I would say that if you need the votes of AIDMK, you will have to accept Jayalalitha, because after the demise of MGR, it was Jayalalitha who brought the party together, and she was called as Amma, mother. Imagine that. There was a
Correct.
kind of a critic yesterday because we constantly are seeing in television about the prime minister's feat and whatever he has done. And one particular advertisement is about how he has supported, a girl child will come and say like, my mother has helped me do this, my mother has helped me do that. It's a kind of like a 30 seconds ad where 20 seconds is about praising the mother, and last 10 seconds is about my mother took care of me, and the prime minister has taken care of my mother by giving her gas cylinders, LPG, and everything. And AIDMK is kind of making joke, claiming that imagine if you cut the first 20 seconds, it's an AIDMK ad. Because in Tamil, my mother is Amma. Okay, so that's the sentiment, and it's not that
Yeah.
easy. And as long as EPS, Jayakumar, and others are there, they will not actually share the legacy of Jayalalitha.
No, I
That
think the
I
Prime
don't know.
Minister has played this very smartly in the sense that, he's praised Amma, he's praised Dr. MGR. He can be critical all he wants of EPS, and he knows that. So he can afford to do that, but he knows full well that Jayalalitha, Dr. MGR, if you want to get, the Tamil love, the AIADMK vote base, you cannot touch them, quite simply.
Exactly, exactly. By criticizing them, you won't get their vote. You
Yeah.
appreciate them, you respect them, you'll get their vote. It's a different dynamics in Tamil Nadu. I have to say that.
All right, all right. So now switching focus from possible alliance with the ADMK to their rivals DMK. So here Modi once again took them on the issue of corruption and dynastic politics, but also he made sure that he would address the north-south divide and also the issue of allegations that the sector is being unjust in the allocation of funds there. He said that since 2004 to 2014, as far as tax devolution is concerned, BJP has given the state three times the amount, and also he's basically saying that uh, these allegations are not true. So, what do we make of that, Akshita? Here?
Well, I think that largely, if you look at the comments by the Prime Minister, he's again ensured that he touches upon issues that he believes will resonate in Tamil Nadu. So, for example, he didn't go into Sanatana Dharma. He didn't go into that entire Udayanithi Stalin controversy. Why? Because he knows there's no audience for it in Tamil Nadu. He didn't go into it knowing full well that it's not going to resonate with the people of Tirupur or, for that matter, with anyone in Tamil Nadu. So he's spoken on issues of dynasty politics because that's something that's a raging political issue in Tamil Nadu. He's spoken on corruption. Why? Because again, the BJP has weaved a narrative around it in Tamil Nadu. North-South divide is something, of course, the Prime Minister just touched upon. He didn't go into it in great detail because again, there's a very strong sense of regionalism in Tamil Nadu, which is why largely parts of his speech, and I'd say if you look at actually the timing of how much time he spent on the North versus South divide versus how much time he spent appreciating Tamil culture, Tamil tradition, Tamil Nadu, you'll see that the latter really outweighs the first, outweighs how much he's really spoken on the north-south divide. He knows full well, and perhaps has studied greatly what works in Tamil Nadu. He's visited so many times, so he understands what really works with the crowd in Tamil Nadu. What are the issues that kind of hit a raw nerve? So corruption, yes. Dynasty politics, yes. But having said that, north-south divide, while he did touch upon, you largely saw him speaking more about how he appreciates Tamil Nadu and the likes. But the BJP is essentially also creating a narrative here, Goutam, that it's DMK versus BJP. I sense that, with him not referring to the AIADMK to EPS, the takeaway from that is not that, they're looking at any alliance. The takeaway from that is that the BJP is trying to make this to be a battle between the DMK and the BJP, and that nobody else stands in the way or has any chance whatsoever.
All right,
No,
Pramod. Yeah.
I would like to
Yeah,
add
basically
something
on
to
the
it. Like
same
it's
lines,
very clear.
in PM Modi's speech there, he did take on the DMK. He did speak about the allocation of funds. He spoke about dynastic politics, but he made sure the messaging was more about what BJP has to offer than what taking on the DMK. So was that the kind of messaging that you felt from
See,
what
I would
Modi
say
said?
that the prime minister speaking about allocation of funds is a kind of like give back from what the DMK has a narrative currently, and that is that if a person in Tamil Nadu pays 1 rupee as tax, he only gets in return as 29 pice. It looked like the prime minister is trying to say that's not the fact. We have increased the funds and allocations, and the chief minister even 2 days back he spoke about how 8 districts were devastated due to natural disaster, and the total amount required was 37,000 crores, and not even 1 rupee was given so far. So it looks like the Prime Minister want to speak on that matter. But another important fact he did not touch EPS is because when L. Murugan, the former president of Tamil Nadu BJP, he acquired a major support. He's the one who started the Veil Yatra before Annamalai's En Makkal Yatra during COVID, and he wanted to go to 8 Murugan temples in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so that time it was kind of actually the AIDMK who was giving him the support. So it looks like the senior leadership of BJP very well knows that without the support or like by angering AIDMK, BJP will definitely face a kind of like a backstep here, because even now it is not the leadership in AIDMK but the symbol that plays a very important role. So I kind of feel like that's the reason the Prime Minister, even though he was like extremely critical about DMK, Indie Alliance, he did not want to say anything about EPS or any other party. For instance, he didn't even speak about Shashikala. Forget
Mm.
EPS or OPS. Even Shashikala went to prison, and we know all what happened, but he didn't want to speak about it. In fact, along with Jayalalitha, she was accused number 2 in that disproportionate acid case, right?
Yes.
So what happened to the corruption
I,
charges
I
over there
sense
are
I
led to the
sense an alliance
politicians.
coming on that front. I sense an
Yeah,
alliance
yeah,
coming
it
on
sure
that
is.
front.
I think
You
there
sense
is
an
actually.
alliance
Talks
coming
are on.
here
Yeah, talks are on.
after.
Talks are on.
Okay. So that is basically what I wanted to speak about next. Now that the N1 and Makkal Padayatra has ended, what next for Annamalai? What are his major challenges? Is he going to be looking at more pacts and alliances? We know the PMK is undecided, DMDK is still there. Also, what will really help shore up the numbers for BJP here to improve on their vote share compared to 2019 elections? Akshita.
Well, Gautam, we discussed this in the previous episode on what really Annamalai needs to do going forward. I think that with the Yatra getting over, the big test for him is going to keep the momentum going. How do you
Hmm.
ensure that you're still in the news? The rage that this Yatra created, in the sense that Annamalai every day would speak to the media, would have that platform. To ensure that you keep that momentum going is going to be the challenge. Secondly, right now, he's going to have to get down to the talking table and figure out alliances. The BJP will need to ensure smaller parties are on board. Sure, they've got the TNC now, but you have to get the PMK, you have to get the DMDK, you have to get every party onto the fold. And these smaller parties now have options. They have the AIADMK and the BJP to choose from. So obviously, between the two, many would say that, look, in a general election, maybe they lean towards the BJP, but AIADMK has that kind of presence already. So they may want to make the most of that. So Annamalai will face that tough test in ensuring he gets alliances on board as well. Now, the other issue is, and I just want to refer to something that's been making news a lot, which is opinion polls in Tamil Nadu. A regional channel one has just done one that's created quite a bit of buzz, which suggests that the BJP could get about 18% of vote share in Tamil Nadu. We ourselves, in our Mode of the Nation, have given about 15%. Will that jump above 20%? Can it actually become 21, 22, and can it actually become seats? For all of that to actually happen, the groundwork that Annamalai has done is crucial now, but the groundwork that happens in the weeks going forward also is going to be crucial. The alliances is going to be crucial. So I'd say that Enman Makkal Yatra was largely a success for Annamalai, for the BJP, but merely.
Yeah, I could just see Pramod smiling there when you mentioned the Pudhyathala survey there. So,
I'm so sorry. I'm hiding. I'm very bad at hiding emotions. Please tell.
uh,
It's created a buzz, and a lot of people are like, kind of
yeah, yeah, yeah.
shocked by the numbers. Pramod, are you shocked by the numbers?
I don't want to say anything because already like the numbers we gave, I had to like I got a quite a lot of number of phone calls and I had to like I mean others was more than BJP. Okay, imagine that. See, I would simply say one thing. Even L. Morgan before Annamalai, he created quite a stir, but that was mostly in the state. But even after that, he could not, win the MP election or anything like that. So he's a Rajya Sabha MP currently. He did not, he could not go ahead with an MLA post, even though he contested. And finally, yes, BJP got 4 MLA seats. But even after that, like two, kind of, it was like a very close call. So what I would simply say is that Annamalai, just like Akshita said, has created the stir, the momentum. But right now, more than that, he needs to face the ego of tall leaders. For example, GK Vasan is somebody who has like equal access to the prime minister. For now, he might have accepted Annamalai as the person who's going to be the leader of the alliance in the state. But another important factor is that TMC is not going to contest. JK Vasan is not going to contest. They have only extended their support. So how is that going to pan out is something you need to watch. And the next thing is that, just like Akshita mentioned, DMDK is a very important player. Patali Makkal Kachi is a very important player. I'll tell you something very interesting. On 28th July, when Home Minister Amit Shah was in Tamil Nadu, at the time he was initiating that, Patali Makkal Kachi actually created a stir on the same day at this Neyveli Lignite Corporation. There was a
I
huge
remember that.
protest
Yeah.
that turned into stone pelting and things like that. So it was kind of like a show of strength. And even while Annamalai was doing all this Padayatra, AIDMK went ahead and it conducted 1 day's meet where nearly 10 lakh people came over. So honestly, the fact here is that like it battled the egos of like tall leaders as well. How Annamalai is ready to do that is something I would like to also see.
All right. So, before we conclude here, has BJP or has PM Modi set the agenda right here? Has he played his cards right in this rally by basically speak? Has he invoked the right elements by talking about MGR and Jayalalitha? And in his messaging, now basically there's this pro Tamil rhetoric that he could have gone by, but he's done a lot more than this. So, will this really create momentum to take BJP beyond the single digit vote share and also to basically, will it be enough to create into seats? So, what is your final thoughts on this, Akshita?
Well, I think that the fact that opinion polls today are speaking about double digit already says a lot that the BJP perhaps is going in the right direction, doing the right things, creating the right noise. And most opinion polls would tell you that from the 3% in 2019, they've definitely grown leaps and bounds. And that by itself is a big deal because, you know, the BJP in very, very few states would be in the predicament that they are in Tamil Nadu in the sense here is where they're almost literally a starter party. You know, they're working from the grassroots and then having to build all the way up, and they're trying to do it in very, very short time. So in that sense, they've got their task cut out for them. It's not going to be easy. As far as the prime minister's presence is concerned, I think he raised the right issues for sure. I think he will essentially dominate Tamil newspaper headlines also with the comments he's made the very next day, which will be the intention, right, to create the buzz. But I think the bigger messaging is not about what the prime minister has spoken, but rather that the prime minister and the BJP high command are putting a 100% focus on Tamil Nadu. And that's why through the course of this yatra, you've had Amit Shah visiting, you've had JP Nada visiting, and now you've had Prime Minister Modi also coming in. Because the message they want to send is, look, we're not a Hindi party. We're a party that's spread across India. We're a party also that has some presence in Tamil Nadu. And that's why the Prime Minister started off speaking in English. He tries to also pepper his speech with a bit of Tamil here and there, which I remember I saw in Abu Dhabi as well, which I found very, very interesting. But the messaging from the BJP is very clear that we're no longer a Hindi party. We have a base in Tamil Nadu. We've got Tamilians who are representing us in Tamil Nadu. So there's no question of us having a disconnect. That is the larger message I see with the Prime Minister making it here. His speech, he said all the right notes. He's known to doing that, you know, saying all the right things in whichever state he is, customizing it
Yeah.
based on what people want to hear. But I'd say the larger message is this, that the BJP is taking Tamil Nadu very, very seriously.
All right, taking BJP, the BJP is taking Tamil Nadu very, very seriously. But also, final thought from you, Pramod. You've tracked the yatra from its start till the end in the 105 days that has passed by. What sort of impact has Annamalai really made? And do they really stand a chance at winning some and cashing in on this popularity to make it into seats as well?
Pramod, you're on mute.
So, sorry. So I'm going to say a small thing. It's just that people of Tamil Nadu, we love small stories and we love cryptic stories. Okay. So since we go by numbers, let me tell you something. In 2014, when AIDMK was in power, NDA had a separate alliance. Jayalalitha swept the entire numbers. It was 37 for AIDMK, one for BJP, and one for PMK. And in 2019, it was an entirely different story. It was NDA alliance, but NDA got only one seat, that too of OPS's son. OP Ravindranath, and it was the entire sweep was done by DMK and so. But the important factor here we would like to say is that even though the number goes ahead and it says Annamalai has definitely increased the vote share, MP election is something that we will not. I mean, the state does not concentrate that much because whoever is going to campaign much, that's going to happen. And even in 2014, the Prime Minister was here. He spoke the same manner. In 2019, also the Prime Minister said the same, almost the same narrative, saying that it is about development, it is about keeping Tamil Nadu as inclusive. But how did it pan out is something we saw in a different manner. But right now, I know you should also think about like other factors as well. We have Vijay coming in 2026, so like he has his own party. He's going to initiate his own things. He's going to fight against corruption. But I'll tell you one cryptic story. All right. So when Rajnikant, when he just to show how Tamil Nadu works, when he went to Ayodhya, he saw the temple and he was mesmerized by it. Yesterday, he was invited for the renovated inauguration of Kalaignar Karunaநிதி's memorial. So he went over there. The chief minister called Rajnikant, made him sit next to him in that EV vehicle, and they went together. And when Rajnikant came back, we asked him, for which he said, like, the memorial was beautiful. It is not a memorial for Karnanidhi, but it is a Taj Mahal for Karnanidhi. Imagine the words he's using. So when we asked, so what is that you like about it? He said, everything, entire thing looked like a dream world. Okay, so the narrative place where you are. So that's a cryptic answer I'm going to give to your question, because like only after elections we'll get the answer. Gautam.
Yeah. Pramod playing the role of a diplomatic reporter there very perfectly.
I
But
have
we
no
do get
doubt.
your cryptic message. We will try and it's left for the viewers to decode it to the best that they can. But thank you both of you for joining us on this discussion today. It was really insightful to decode what really happens, and I'm sure we'll discuss further when the elections get closer. Thank you so much,
Bye.
Pramod and Akshita,
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
us.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye. Bye.